In this video, we'll take a look at loading your SKOUT EPOCH magazine. For this demonstration, we're going to be using 30 caliber pellets and our 30 caliber magazine. You'll notice that the magazine is marked here on the on the rear facing section at 30 caliber. And then once it's opened, it's also marked as well. We're going to rotate it till we get to the thumb release, and you can see there's a nice cutout here. That's for the mag, the back of the mag, and then on the side that is directly parallel to the opening, you will find this cutout. So we're going to go ahead and then press open. There is no latch other than the magnets that you see here. These are very high powered rare earth magnets, so they're going to hold that nice and secure. Now we're going to go ahead and set our lid to the side, take a closer look at our magazine itself. Now you'll notice from the slack here that there is no tension on this magazine. It is what we would call at rest. When this magazine is at rest, you can see that the feed hole here aligns with the finger cutout in the mag wheel. And that is what we're going to use to indicate the number of rotations. Unlike a lot of magazines that are out there, the EPOCH magazine allows you to adjust tension based on number of rotations of the inner wheel rather than having a stop. Now this is unique because it allows you to both increase and decrease tension. For 30 and 35 cal, we're going to use 2 rotations. And for anything smaller than 30 cal, we're going to recommend you use less than 2 rotations. What we mean by rotation is we count every time it passes the main feed hole. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do those 2 rotations. Put our finger here and counterclockwise once, counterclockwise again, and now we're at 2 rotations. So in order to lock that in prior to filling the rest of our magazine, we're going to take and put our finger behind the feed hole and load our first pellet. With it in there, we're going to go ahead and let go, and you'll see that the spring inside the drive wheel will hold tension on that first pellet and allow us to go ahead and load the remainder. Now, as far as why you may or may not want less or more tension is going to increase the pressure on the pellet stack, which is going to obviously ensure reliable feeding. However, due to the variance of skirt thickness on a pellet, you may find that too much pressure impacts those skirts, causing misfeeds or even jams, which is why we have the infinitely adjustable system rather than a stop. This allows you to dial in the pressure for not only the size, but also for the particular manufacturer or casting of the pellet you're using. When you're loading, you want to make sure that the pellets drop freely all the way down to the base. You'll hear a small tink as they rest against the face of the magazine. Now, the reason we want them to drop in freely like this is because then we know there is no prongs, no burrs, no other abnormalities on the skirt that are going to cause feeding issues. If you're using a high quality pellet or you've already pre-sorted your pellets, this is going to be much less of a concern. And in this case, we're using a very high-end pellet that has a very consistent skirt. So you're seeing them drop in very nicely right away. Now, once we finish loading this magazine, we're going to go ahead and reinstall our magazine cover with the machined number here, again indicating the caliber facing towards the pellets, and our feed hole aligned with the feed hole in the magazine. Once done, those pellets are locked into position. As you noticed when I closed it, I wanted to make sure that the pellets were all facing down, all seated against the magazine face. Give it a little tap just to make sure. And again, we just want to make sure that none of those skirts are hanging up, dented, or have any other abnormalities that will prevent feeding. So again, once that's confirmed, we can go ahead and drop our top back on. You'll notice that those magnets immediately grab. There's no way to install this cover incorrectly. only can be installed the one way. And as you can see here, we have our first pellet in the ready position and are prepared to go. You'll hear the noise as the pellets shift back and forth in the magazine. We have a great deal of depth to both allow the mag to be used for slug in the future, as well as to account for a wide range of pellets. However, once this covers on, those pellets are locked in place, and even though they may rattle a little bit, they are perfectly aligned and ready to feed. So that's it, and that is how you fill your SKOUT EPOCH magazine.